How avoidants act when you're just an option versus the one they love. Have you ever felt like an avoidant person treats you differently? Warm one day, cold the next? It's confusing because their actions can seem caring at times, but distant the moment things get emotionally real. The truth is, avoidants act very differently depending on whether they see you as just an option or as someone they actually love. And the differences, while subtle at first, reveal everything about how they attach, what they fear, and how much emotional safety they feel with you. So in this video, we're going to break it all down: the signs, the tone, the energy shifts, and how to tell if you're truly in their heart or just in their convenience zone. Let's start with when you're just an option. When an avoidant sees you as replaceable, they'll keep emotional distance from day one. Their texts are often delayed, their tone polite but detached. They might flirt or keep you around, but there's no real depth, no vulnerability. You'll notice that every conversation somehow avoids the emotional core. They talk about work, surface-level hobbies, maybe even deep topics, but never about feelings. And if you bring them up, they change the subject, make a joke, or withdraw entirely. You'll often feel like you're chasing a ghost, someone who's physically there but emotionally absent. This is because, to the avoidant, opening up emotionally equals danger. So when you're just an option, they keep you at arm's length to protect their independence and avoid intimacy. When you're just an option, an avoidance affection feels inconsistent, almost like a drip of attention, just enough to keep you hooked. One week, they'll text you more, act curious, even a little flirty. Then, without warning, they'll go quiet again. This push and pull isn't random, it's control. They give affection when it feels safe for them, and withdraw it the moment it starts to feel emotionally demanding. You'll find yourself wondering what you did wrong, when in truth it's not about you. It's about their fear of closeness. Avoidants feel suffocated by emotional intensity, so if they sense you're getting attached, they instinctively pull away to regain space and control. That's how they protect themselves when you're not the one. They ration connection like it's oxygen. They'll also avoid defining the relationship. When you're just an option, they'll keep things open. They'll use vague phrases like, "I'm not ready for something serious," or "let's just see where things go." On the surface, it sounds casual and honest, but underneath, it's a shield. They don't want to commit emotionally because that means responsibility, consistency, and vulnerability. Things that scare avoidance the most. They'd rather stay in a gray zone where they can enjoy your presence without risking emotional dependency. If you try to get clarity, they might label you as needy or say you're moving too fast. But in reality, that's just their defense mechanism. It's how they create distance while keeping you close enough to not fully lose you. Now let's shift gears, because everything changes when an avoidant actually falls in love. When you're the one they truly care for, their pattern becomes conflicted. They don't just pull away out of boredom, they pull away out of fear. You'll notice they become paradoxical. They crave closeness, then suddenly disappear. They act cold, but you can feel something tender underneath. When avoidants love deeply, it scares them, because love demands emotional exposure. It challenges their long-held belief that attachment equals danger. So even though they may vanish for a while, they never truly detach from you internally. You'll see it in their eyes when they return. Guilt, relief, and longing all mixed together. When you're the one they love, an avoidant silence is louder. Their distance isn't arrogance, it's conflict. They may not text for days, but they're thinking about you constantly. They watch your stories, remember your words, and overthink every emotional exchange. Love for them feels like losing control, something they've spent a lifetime avoiding. So when they realize you have emotional power over them, they retreat to protect themselves. But unlike when you're just an option, they always come back, because this time, the bond means something. Even if they don't say it, their actions slowly shift. You'll start to notice they let you in more. They share bits of their inner world, talk about childhood, their fears, their regrets. That's their version of intimacy. You might also notice their avoidance becomes apologetic. When you're just an option, they don't care if they hurt you. Your absence doesn't bother them. But when you're the one they love, your withdrawal rattles them. They may not chase you openly, but they'll reappear subtly, liking your post, sending a random message, or mentioning something that reminds them of you. It's their way of testing the waters of saying, "Are you still there?" They want to reconnect, but their fear of rejection keeps them cautious. Deep down, they're torn between two forces: their need for love and their fear of losing themselves in it. When an avoidant loves you, you also start to see their protective side. Avoidants who truly care will quietly watch over you. They'll check if you got home safe, remember the details of your life, and subtly do things that show they're paying attention. They may not be verbal with affection, but they act it out. They fix your car, help with your problems, or offer advice when you're struggling. Acts of service become their language of love because it feels safer than emotional vulnerability. This is one of the most misunderstood traits of avoidance. They love through action, not words. Another key difference: when you're the one they love, they stop seeing you as competition. With people they only see as options, they need to feel superior, emotionally stronger, less invested. But with someone they love, that shield softens. You'll see moments of real humility. They'll admit when they're wrong, open up about their mistakes, and even share their insecurities. That's massive for an avoidant. It means they trust you enough to be seen, not just admired but known. However, loving an avoidant isn't simple. Even when they love you, they'll still pull away sometimes. Not because they don't care, but because love triggers old wounds. Avoidants often grew up in environments where emotional closeness was inconsistent or overwhelming, so their nervous system equates love with loss of safety. So even when they found someone safe, their body still reacts as if danger is near. The real test of love isn't in whether they pull away, it's in whether they come back with awareness. When they start communicating after space, when they say things like, "I needed time, but I missed you," that's growth. That's an avoidant learning to stay connected without losing themselves. And here's something powerful. When an avoidant truly loves someone, they change. Slowly, quietly, but deeply. They start initiating more, being more transparent, and even showing affection in small but meaningful ways. They might hold your hand more, maintain eye contact longer, or simply stay. You'll sense it in their consistency. They'll stop running at every emotional wave because your presence feels like calm, not chaos. That's how you know you're not just an option. You've become a safe place for their heart. But remember, you can't force that transformation. You can't heal an avoidant by chasing or over-explaining. You create safety by being grounded yourself. When you stop reacting to their distance, when you hold space instead of begging for attention, that's when they start to trust you. Because to an avoidant, safety is found in someone who doesn't demand, but simply accepts. So the next time you wonder whether you're just an option or the one they love, don't look at what they say. Look at what they do when fear enters the room. Do they detach completely, or do they eventually return, softer, more open? Because avoidants don't fall in love often, but when they do, it changes them. Their avoidance becomes awareness. Their silence becomes reflection. And their distance, slowly, over time, turns into connection. In the end, the difference between being just an option and being the one they love isn't about how hard you chase them. It's about how safe they feel when you stop chasing, when you let them come to you. Because real love for an avoidant begins not in their comfort, but in their courage. And when that courage appears, you'll see it in their eyes. The fear may still be there, but so is something stronger: love that dares to stay.